Hello, good morning, everyone. What I want to tell you now is we saw a few more people are joining, so thank you for joining us in this morning. And what we are trying at the moment, everyone stays home and stay safe, please. So please give us a shout out, support, whoever supports us and whoever is tagging us, we will repost and we will give a shout out. And at the end of this event, you also have the chance to be actually winning a small, let's say event giveaway.
Thank you very much, Julia. I'll just take you guys through quickly the agenda for today. Firstly, we just went through the short welcome that Julia just discussed. Thank you very much. After that, Julia will be speaking a bit about Shopify features as well as a case study, just so that you'll be able to understand better a few details about Shopify, about our experiences and our best practices with Shopify. And then we'll go into speaking about localization, how to localize your experience on Shopify, and how to make sure that your market is directed to the correct audience that you're trying to reach. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A session where we will open up the session to all of you, to where you guys can go ahead and ask us freely any questions that you may have regarding Shopify, regarding any aspects that we've discussed in our presentation. So just to give you guys a brief introduction about Creative A71 and who we are the leading.
So I believe Moment's audio has a problem, or there's something not working right. Can you hear me well? Okay, so let me continue then from here, if you can hear me well. In general, all of you have come across Middle East or Swarovski, and what you can see is we're helping retail businesses to come online, but not only retail, because nowadays the market and things being very well taken forward. So in this picture, you can see actually our Shopify Meetup, how it looks in person, and hopefully one day we will welcome you back in person. But until then, follow those QR codes to our website and Instagram account if you haven't done already. And we'll continue with the presentation. Moment who has to move the slide, so we'll just wait for him. Exactly. Just a bit more about ourselves. Maybe you've come across as well our online training academy, which was launched last year in September. It's a full e-commerce blueprint program, understanding localized approach of e-commerce. It's more of a mentorship. It's not really a how to open your Shopify website, because there's a lot of tutorials out on YouTube, and we want to give you a bit of more the edge of how to approach that as a mentor. Our partners in this are the UAE TRA, which we're government partner since 2017. TLZ is trade license zone. Women, we can move ahead. Okay, so now you can see as well the TRA, the government that I just mentioned. We have a collaboration playing an educational role, as I just mentioned it to you. All right, so today my part is the 3 parts, which is first the state of commerce, Shopify, and then features and case study. We're trying to make it informative, but at the same time not lengthy, because we understand sitting in front of a laptop and listening is a bit different than meeting us in person. So we can hit off right with the first one, which is the state of commerce. And as commerce is changing, everyone understands it's not only the situation, as I mentioned at the moment. We have a global shift of doing business. The world is becoming smaller. We do understand we have way more, let's say, possibilities to work global and to help people internationally. So what we can see is this is what customers currently expect. So let's say if I walk into the mall and I walk into a store, I want the same experience and the same reply if I approach them in the online store or in any other channel that I can find them in, right? This is the ideal case scenario, but let me tell you now, in the next slide, you will see what is the actual case until now. And that's not only in the UAE, but as well still a challenge globally, which obviously we're trying to help connecting. So at the moment, or what still a lot of businesses have, is an inconsistent buying experience. That means some of the products might be listed on Amazon, but they're not directly from the seller. You'll find a Facebook shop, but no Instagram shop ability. You'll find a brick and mortar store, maybe an online store that is a display store that doesn't give a purchase opportunity. So there's a lot of, let's say, disjointed or disconnected buying journey. And obviously every business owner, even though you do not have a brick and mortar store, or you might not have an online store yet, but Meetup, I'm going to tell you right now. So meaning the status quo is broken. This is what we mentioned. Moment, you can continue to the next one. Yeah. At the moment, or Shopify software as a service, so slowly adaptive, less innovative, mostly overpriced, and it needed maintenance. Update. So there is no updates you have to perform in-house. You don't need a developer. You don't need a coder. So the platform itself is taking care of everything for you, which reduces implementing the right platform or the right service will make it much easier for you. So we can see this is numbers. Why the slide's moving? This is numbers that we see from the US. So we have 51% or 51.2% of all businesses that fail within 5 years. This was a US to the slide. So moment now we can hop to that slide. Yes, so the main reasons why businesses fail, and that's why we're showing that as US numbers and then showing you over here in the Dubai Shopify Meetup, is simple reason that these businesses fail due to the same reason as every business fails in any country. So we have cash flow problems is being the number one. Usually spread out, you have a risk, you have a person to discuss, you have maybe another person to push you. But apart from that, cash flow problems are the number one of why businesses fail. The second one is no market need. The third is running out of cash, don't have the right team, or outcompeted. So take care of everything in the beginning. And once you understand you have so many issues and so many, let's say, hats to wear, right? You will come to understand that having the right e-commerce platform to help you reducing your headaches there is definitely the way forward. Because what you would need to focus on is getting the business in and not trying to fix it or not trying to operate it on a daily basis. Moment, you can go to the next one. So the future of commerce, and that's what we're mentioning, and that's why it's part of the Shopify Meetup. The future of commerce is basically a platform, a large network of apps. So those apps are third-party integrations that boost and empower your business, not only from a sales perspective, but also from an operational perspective. So you can not only personalize the customer and storefront experience, but also the way you manage it. You printing your orders or managing your accounts. So yeah, we're discussing about Shopify here. You can see, just to give you the numbers, we have more than 1 million Shopify merchants. This was announced already last year, which is by now, by number, the fastest growing e-commerce platform globally. We have 14,000 active Shopify partners around the globe and more than 3,000 applications that you can, as I just said, use to power your business and to help to help push your business forward. So how does that all look? As basically technology shouldn't hold you back, but it should empower you. Now, just to have a quick look out, your e-commerce platform has different touch points. So as the immediate touch points are definitely your markets, your channels, your email, your support on the platform, your content upload, but also your ERP, meaning your inventory, accounting, etc. So those are the immediate touch points that you have with your e-commerce platform, no matter if it's Shopify or not, but it's just to give you an overview. the other parameters that you see floating around, subscriptions, ratings, social, marketing, these are all points you should consider for your business, but they are not essential to run or to start off with your business at the beginning. So now, maybe you can have as well a screenshot of the screen, but we will be sharing it anyways with you all. This is a structure how you should have your business looked out, or what you have to look after to make sure the parameters are all connected to your e-commerce. Now we're talking a bit about features and case studies, why we picked personalization and email case study is to show you that this is a really powerful tool. A lot of people think the UAE is not so strong in email marketing, or we're getting a lot of SMS, where everyone is like, 50% off here, and you might not be interested in that advertisement that you get all the time. But now we'll show you how actually email marketing or personalization can work in your favor, which is an application and a software that Shopify uses called Klaviyo. So it means Klaviyo is a software that synchronizes perfectly with the Shopify platform. And it actually builds a real quality customer relation. So if you check the dashboard, for example, it just shows you a couple of numbers, but in the next slide, I'm going to tell you what Klaviyo does for your business. So we have, for example, here a time delay, meaning you can set, if someone hits the checkout, the value is greater than 200, you can see the screen. Then you can understand, you can set specific days and times, specific days of the week, tag customers, categorize, let's say, groups. So let's say if a customer A purchases every month 200 dirham, you have other customers that purchases monthly 1,000 dirham, so you can categorize them and separately target them in emails. Here we're talking about abandoned cart, meaning you're actually having a cart scenario if someone is in the checkout and wants to purchase, but is actually dropping out of the cart. So let's say you see conditions, he's waiting 3 hours. Did you leave something behind? Okay, another waiting 6 hours. So before your card expires. So there's a couple of emails and scenarios that you can customize and you can set that will help your recovery of the card and increase your sales. Here, this is what I was talking about. We're having lists and segments. So you can filter by list and segment of customers. You can define separate email flows, campaigns. You can understand, okay, bounced email, clicked email, conditions. If in Shopify there was an order placed and the order is greater than, let's say, 10 orders. So all those conditions are custom. You can or you cannot, or you have to or you don't have to basically set all the conditions, but whatever matches, how does the customer interact with the placed order. But you will actually have a scenario that is set in Klaviyo. So directly when, let's say, the placed orders reaches number 10, the customer would immediately get an email. So that means it's actually like your small salesperson helping you to sell and to be active to your customer.
Hello, everybody. I hope that you can hear me well. I'm just going to take over now to speak a little bit about localization. It's a really key aspect of e-commerce. Localization, basically what it means is that you have to be able to localize your content to make sure that your content is in that right niche market. I'm not sure, can you guys hear me well right now? Is my voice clear?
Yes.
All right, then I'll continue. So basically localization, we're talking about tailoring your product content, as well as if you're targeting specific countries. So for example, if you're targeting UAE, you might want to have specific domains targeted to that, to UAE. So basically just like I'll give you the biggest example in the world, Amazon. Amazon.com is definitely the one for the US. And then there's Amazon.ae here in our UAE market. They have Amazon.in and so forth and so forth. So this is localization as far as domains are concerned. Another example of localization is that you would have to actually cater your actual content or landing pages towards your specific audiences. I'll give you an example of this is what Julia discussed earlier about the world is getting smaller, just basically meaning that everything is now moved to digital. You can now purchase anything from anywhere in the world at any time, which was not possible 20, 25 years ago. So the world is actually getting smaller. It's easier for people to purchase anything from anywhere in the world. This is just a quick slide about how here in UAE.
Momin, your voice was not hearable at all. So if you want to redo the part before, or else I can do it as well.
Is it clear now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me continue with the world is getting smaller. Basically, what this slide is illustrating. You should continue then, Julia. I can see that all the attendees can't hear anything.
All right. So can you go to the slide before? Yeah, so I think it's here where the sound started cracking or where we didn't hear anything. So Moment's part is about localization. So in the next 1 year, we can see that customer experience will overtake price and product as a key brand differentiator. If that has not already happened. So if we're seeing that the customer is not only looking at the price to make sure or to understand, okay, which product do I purchase? It's more about what do I get with it, right? And especially now, you must have noticed in times like now, we have the situation of, let's say, a pandemic, right? So we have many times, even personally, I'm ordering or I ordered from a UAE website. I paid online. This website has not delivered the item until now. It's been a month now. There's no communication. Nobody's in touch. So I might have lost my purchase, right? This sounds really bad. I haven't purchased from this company because it was the cheapest. I have purchased from this company because I get a product that I normally get nowhere else. But what I want to tell you with this example is that nowadays, if you are able to respond to your customers, even if, let's say, your third-party delivery will take a delay in delivering or has a high overload of online deliveries, but make sure that the more you are in touch with your customers and the more you take care of your customers, you will see that the loyalty and the trust comes to you. And this is a big factor, that this current market situation is giving a big challenge, but at the same time, it gives us a huge opportunity. So next slide. What does that mean to us? And that's what I said earlier as well. The world is getting smaller. We're having multiple touch points across the globe. Brands, obviously, global brands have a bigger challenge than local brands. But at the same time, you can use this smartly. And how to use this smartly? Is by understanding the habitual differences. So in the beginning, if you remember, we posted virtual or hashtag virtual Shopify Meetup Dubai. We wanted you to engage. It's only logical and it's only normal, are not only, let's say, gender or nationality specific, but they are more habitual differences. But we're adapting to that country. Let me give you an example. We are, for example, when you open your phone, right, and most of the UAE users will understand this. When you open a website, usually the first thing you look for is I'm happy to hear some comments in the webinar chat if you want to share some comments with me. All right, thank you for the reply. So return policies, good pictures, high image quality. If the image looks cheap, I know the brand will be bad. This is very true. Shipping lead time. Thank you very much for those comments. What we, and I agree with Generation Me. I think this is the name of the chat. If you guys can all see. Definitely. I mean, those are points that are supposed to be set right on a website. So we have to assume that the basic things are right. But what you all giving me here is a good example. You're giving me an example that a lot of UAE businesses are not even having their basics set, right? So this we can clearly see by the replies, because what actually I was going to tell you, that a UAE user, no matter what nationality, but a person that lived here for a while, what they would first look for when they access a website, and let's assume the website is perfect, the shipping time, lead time, quality images, everything is there. What they would first do, they would hit a search or a filter. Why? Because in having a search and a filter opportunity, a UAE user would be fast and easy and understanding where they have to navigate, not too much information, minimalistic masculine design, just to understand, I want this from a website, this is the purpose, this is the next step I have to take. Whereas probably in other parts of the world, it's a different scenario. Fabienne, I think you posted a question. If you could post that questions to the Q&A section, please, instead of the webinar chat. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So yeah, the point of this is to understand that you have to localize your website and your customers and adjust to your customers' needs. Thank you, Fabienne. We got the comment in the Q&A, so that's perfect. Now, to understand the localization example is here. I think you can all see the screen. We're talking about Starbucks. So Starbucks has a worldwide presence. Obviously, it's a global brand. And not to confuse, it's not about what platform the website is built on. It's purely about the browsing and the user experience. So you have on the left side, Starbucks UK, and on the right side, Starbucks Japan. What I want you to get away from this is that Starbucks in the UK has a very clear, very structured, horizontal menu navigation and as well sectioned website. If you look at Japan version of Starbucks, and this is the exact same brand, you will see huge information, a lot of images, and a lot of, let's say, information to be seen on one screen. Why is that so? That's the reason of difference of how people expect information in those countries to be displayed. So we have another example if we move on one more slide. So here we have the example of Nescafé, which as well, the images that you give to your customers or the images that appear on your website. You see that for Nescafé Japan, it's way more important that it can be controlled, or let's say that the coffee machine can be controlled by a device, and like older and younger people can use it. So there's different messaging even in the content, in the imagery that is being used. And what's the story behind this, or what would make sense that would appeal to UAE consumers? Zaina, thank you. That's a very good question. So websites that would appeal to a UAE consumer, you can go to creative971.com/portfolio. You will find a lot of websites that we've been doing not only for the UAE, but as well for the entire Middle East. And it shows you exactly of how certain patterns should flow. But in a nutshell, I can tell you how the UAE consumer experiences is what I said. It's filter and search. If you have clearly sectioned, that it's more to the point. It's not too much information overflow. It's very neat and simple. So this is in a nutshell, but Zaina, you can definitely have the review of how a UAE consumer would perceive that on our portfolio. Okay, so we have the announcement today that we have mentioned. We wanted you to share and to tag us in your event, and I think a couple of people have done that. So let me at the same time have a look as well. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for being active on the social media. We will reveal the winner digitally, and we will as well reveal it on our social media. So you will find yourself, if you have tagged yourself there, what you're gonna win. Momin, can you move to the next slide? Okay, so what you're gonna win will be a secret. For those one who wins, it will be a secret, but for everyone else, I've mentioned the online training in the beginning. So C971 Virtual gives you a 50% discount upon checkout of the 10-step e-commerce blueprint. And we're also talking about localization and a lot of questions now. So what I can see and where we can hop over quickly to the Q&A is, does a local currency versus the US dollar make a big difference in terms of conversion? That depends. If you have a US dollar account in the UAE, most probably not. If you do not, then most probably it will. Fabienne, your question for, is Stripe working for businesses registered in the UAE? Not yet. For Wiam, hello, the Klaviyo interfere with Shopify abandoned cart emails and can replace MailChimp. No, you cannot replace with MailChimp, Wiam, because MailChimp does not have an active integration with Shopify anymore. Omnisend, you can. Omnisend is a software solution with Shopify as well, but Shopify's preferred email marketing partner is Klaviyo. So you would have to look into that separately. Olia, Shopify payments available in the UAE, that depends whenever Stripe will be available. So same question, refer back as I asked or replied to Fabienne. How many days to products to arrive from China to UAE? Mukesh, you have to ask your delivery partner, not us. What payment gateway is available for UAE businesses? So Mahmoud, your questions are perfectly aligned to our online training. So I would ask you maybe to go have a look at the online training, which is a 50% discount for all of you that attended today. Hashem, I saw you asked if we can have the questions and answers sent to us. So the questions and answers of the Q&A, as I said, it's a recorded session. We'll email those answers and questions, but you can re-review the webinar at any time. And yeah, you can also have a look at the slides that are there. So everything will be available. My voice will be recorded. Momin's part will be recorded. And yeah, we will share the winner shortly with you on social media. Just give us a bit of time. Over and above, I wanted to thank you for being part of a little bit of history in these times and help supporting businesses that are local businesses make the economy thrive, and where we can support you, also you can support us. So think of that. We're just a step away, and wishing you all a great morning and all a great week. And thank you very much for attending.